you. Well, I wish I could take credit, but actually Jesse Eisenberg's sister came up with the term vegucation in my circle. She has had a vegetarian acting troupe made of kids, and it was all about vegucating. So it was actually Jesse Eisenberg's sister who kind of coined the term, and we're friendly, and I took it and tweaked it and ran with it. But we've had a lot of success with the title, and in fact, we have a digital distributor who found us because of the title. So
I thought Vegucated was awesome. It basically showed how to take people through a vegan challenge week by week. I liked how she found the people in the first place. She used Craigslist. So by doing that, it was already people that were somewhat interested in changing their diet. Now they were changing it for the purpose of losing weight. Once they already started into their challenge and they were committed to carrying it through the 6 weeks, then she started introducing them to other ideas.
Humor played a big role in this film. Can you talk a bit about the role of humor and why it's important in a film that advocates veganism?
I have a sketch comedy background, so humor is really important to me. And I chose the film subjects partly based on their likability, and I think that humor plays into likability quite a bit. So I think it is important, and I do think that you need to make media for animals that people enjoy. So if you have a little bit of medicine that you want to give them a teaspoon of agave to help it go down. I think that's really important. Just to have, not all films need to be humorous, but I think it's nice to have variety. Some are, some aren't, so that we have a lot of tools in our tool belt.
In the film, you also didn't shy away from showing the reality of factory farms, and what I found particularly interesting is the way you introduced your subjects, your 3 subjects, to some of those realities. I mean, that was pretty powerful, and it had quite an impact on them.
Yeah, it did. Well, I could not have made a film about this issue without including the harsh realities. And for me, I had been vegan for years before I decided to do this project, and watching them go through the process made it all fresh and new for me. And I think it's important for people who care about this issue to be in touch with that, and also to have compassion for people who are going through this process, because it can be difficult and they do need support.
One week they were watching the videos about slaughterhouses. Then they saw one week the empty slaughterhouses, and it became all real for them. That's when it became real about what it really takes to put animal products on the plate. Even they were amazed how just a few weeks before they were, hardcore animal eaters and everything, and then you watch this transformation happen.
Last question, if you were to make another film, what would it be on this topic? Like, what would be part 2 of this kind of film?
Well, I have 2 thoughts around that. Number 1, there isn't an environmental film on this issue that's strictly about the environment. And the organization that I worked for when I started this was called Kind Green Planet, Enviro Animal Org. And so that's been a big part of me. I've been an environmentalist for a long time. So I'm thinking about that. I'm also thinking about, this is so weird, a kind of experimental short narrative.
Every time I talk about
shot from the perspective of a pig on a factory farm. I have no idea how on earth that's going to happen, just logistically, but it's a vision I've had for years, so we'll see. Wow, that's a big question. I mean, I set out to make a little film. I thought I'd do it in a year, and it would be a great grassroots outreach tool that people could, show this in their yoga studios, colleges, whatever. And I thought, maybe it can have a little impact, to individuals. We've all had stories of transformation, and we've had ripple effects. So I thought, let's start from the bottom up. And, time will tell what kind of effect. I mean, obviously I want it to be as big and wonderful as possible. But you guys are a little bit of a part of that, so please buzz it up, tweet us. We're at Vegucated. Find us on Facebook. Spread the word. So hopefully we can spread the word about this film and make a bigger impact.
Last question.
Oh gosh, two arms up.
Hi.
Two arms up.
I live in Buffalo and I'm a Sabres fan. I have to first tell you that I have to hate part of you, just a small part. But I wonder, being in Buffalo and knowing how insane hockey fans are, and having attended Toronto Maple Leafs fans, and knowing that they are equally, if not more, insane, do you ever think that you want to use your platform as a professional hockey player and as so many people's to say that you're vegan and encourage other people to try vegan diet? Or do you think you want to keep it on the DL?
If I can. I don't think I'd want to push anybody into it. That's probably the wrong way to do it. My mother growing up cooking for me has always tried to instill the vegan diet, not totally, but starting with fruit in the morning and water before noon. I think that was a Fit for Life diet, that's that Asian. And then started to cut down the red meat, the no milk. Those were big things when I was growing up. And what do you do when your parents tell you to do something, you want to do the opposite? So.
Or just even talking openly though about being vegan?
Yeah, I'm open to that now, of course. Yeah, absolutely. But I would never. I think everyone should do their own research. I mean, even if you're not vegan in this room, and this is a great documentary film, but do your own research. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, that you believe in it, because that's the only way you'll be able to stick to it, I think.
Right. Thank you.
Awesome.